Dawnstar just dropped their highly anticipated Arcane Spells mod in Baldur's Gate 3's Mod Manager, and I'll be showing you a build guide covering this and all the unique VFX for the spells. There's a lot of them. This comes with 3 new cantrips and 12 new spells here, and as usual, they come with their unique VFX. And I gotta tell you, they look cool. Now the thing is, these all feel very well balanced within Baldur's Gate 3, and the different VFX are just the coolest part. So here's just a peek of some of the VFX that come with this. Again, just such a good job on that. Now the cantrips we'll be getting at level 1 here. We got Arcane Barrage, which does bludgeoning damage. This looks really cool. It uses your action and your bonus action, and you cast, and cast. It's pretty solid overall. There's also the Wand of Absorption here. This is a cantrip that lets you absorb energy and then either deal necrotic damage or heal your teammates with it. It's pretty cool. There's also Foresight here, which you saw me using Halsin there, which is a glimpse in the future. Your and ally's next spell, attack roll, or saving throw from spells will have advantage. This is a bonus action cantrip. We also have the Arcane Prism spell here as a level 1 spell. For 10 turns, you can trap a medium or smaller creature in an arcane cage, which prevents movement and makes them take elemental damage. The cage will deal damage twice when it erupts, so whenever it does erupt, and then at the end of the turn there. And then there's the Solar Flare doing a 1d8 of radiant damage and a 1d6 of fire damage, and it explodes in a 2-meter radius, while also leaving a fire surface somewhat similar to Chromatic Orb. And we'll be playing as a wizard. I may do like a sorcerer subclass video in the future, but this is available to wizards, warlocks, sorcerers, clerics, eldritch knights, bards, and druids. And yeah, we'll be also taking mage armor, find familiar, shield, arcane prism, solar flare, and magic missile. With an ability score spread, we can put our points into intelligence if you want to use the hag's hair, and then we can roll with that there, but my personal preference is to go 16 dex, 14 constitution, and 16 intelligence for the wizard. And at our second level, we'll take the blade singing subclass. Just nice to have that option whenever available, but the evocation wizard is a good choice as well. We can go with like Thunderwave and Chromatic Orb there. We'll take whatever weapon you prefer having. Obviously, we're going to swap that out. And always have these spells prepared because you want to have them. I also like to have shield there, and mage armor is nice just for a bit of survivability, unless you're going to be using like a different type of avenue like scrolls or multi-classing. At level 3, we get access to some more spells. We get Whirlwind doing thunder and lightning damage, which will hinder movement speed by half. Each round, this will also pull with a 4-meter radius. Targets closer, and if you're within 2 meters of the center, you'll take the lightning damage there. We also got the Arcane Aegis here, which will cover yourself in an arcane bubble that shrouds you and an ally, reflecting incoming projectiles back to their source. Really good for 2 turns. A reflection, it's a concentration, but that's good. And we'll take Mage Hand for a next cantrip or Minor Illusion just to supplement the cantrips we got from the spell pack here. Now, we can also take things like Hold Persons, that's always going to be nice, and Misty Step for a bit of mobility, that's another good option. And for our first feat, I would actually recommend an Intelligence increase. Alert is good too if you want to go first in combat, but getting that Intelligence increase is good. Since at level 5, we're going to be getting more spells here. So we now get the Disc Flight and the Fireworks doing a 2d10 radiant damage, which will blind nearby enemies. Undead and fiends will take an additional 1d10 of radiant damage, so it's similar to a smite, and this will get rid of darkness in the area. Disc Flight basically makes you able to fly and not get inwebbed or crowd controlled in any sense, and you also can't slip on ice or grease. This is great if you're playing with a lot of elements, because now you're not going to get hit by the worst side effects of them. There are boots that can give you that passively in the game, so that is another avenue if you don't want to use that. And level 6, we get the extra attack from the Blade Singing. This is nice just for the extra options. We should have our Booming Blade. I should have taken that a little bit earlier. I also recommend taking Counterspell and Haste here. If you don't like to use Haste, then Lightning Bolt or Fireball are good spells as well, just for the... It's nice to be able to hit in a straight line like that when there's enemies that may not be getting hit by other spells that we do have. Now, at level 7 here, we get level 4 spells. The All-Seeing Eye is pretty powerful because it gives all allies advantage on saving throws against spells, and all enemies will get disadvantage on attack rolls within the Eye's grace. So, yeah, your teammate's going to be getting hit a lot less. This is a concentration to hold, but a good one. And we also got the Soul Split, doing a 48 of psychic damage, releasing a psychic burst. Attack rolls against the affected creature will have advantage, while its attack rolls will suffer disadvantage. And when this takes damage, the soul snaps back, dealing a further 4 to 16 psychic damage for 10 turns. Pretty strong because this is not a concentration-based spell, and it's psychic damage, which is the best damage type in the game, because of how easy it is to double it with the Resonance Stone. Level 8 gives us more choices here. I would recommend actually grabbing the Minor Elementals, as they're pretty strong, and Ice Storm is good because we are now immune to slipping around, and yeah, we can do that. Also like to take the Alert feat at this point, but we could go with an increase to the Intelligence or take Warcaster for feats. And at level 9, we get some more spells here. We get our From the Ashes, doing fire and radiant damage, releasing a blast of feeding fire, and when the blast kills an enemy, you regain health points equal to the damage dealt. Pretty good, right? And then also the Elemental Exposure, conjure a crackling rune that unravels elemental warding in a 4-meter radius. All creatures within it become vulnerable to lightning, thunder, fire, and cold, leaving the circle immediately ends the effect. This is possibly the most interesting one for me. I really like being able to set up your teammates and things like that. And doubling fire damage is very powerful when it's an area effect like Fireball that could hit, or if you have another teammate that uses Wall of Fire, it's just doubling the damage. Straight up pretty powerful. We'll then add both of those spells onto the spell list there. It's just nice to have all the spells thematic to this there. So we also got the Song of Defense at level 10, which is nice for a bit of extra survivability. We'll take the Booming Blade because we got the offhand attacks. Conjure Elemental and Hold Monster are great, although Cone of Cold is my personal preference, especially when we get that ability to double cold damage. And then we'll equip that spell there into level 11. This is when we get our final spells from here, which has the Magic in a Bottle, doing a 5d4 Thunder, Cold, Fire, and Lightning, storing your magic inside of a potion bottle and stowed away for later use. When consumed, it grants a temporary level 6 spell slot. When thrown, it erupts in a devastating 4-meter burst of chaotic elemental energy. So yeah, that's honestly quite good. You can either make it explode, doing all the damage that can be doubled, or you can use it to get yourself a spell slot back. So yeah, interesting way of playing. And we also get the Arcane Binder here, channeling a powerful enhancement, becoming invulnerable but incapacitated. But the big kicker is if anyone gets within your move, like in your area here, they'll actually get bound, unable to move, act, react for an entire turn. This is a concentration, but honestly quite strong. And you can use that just to shut down a bunch of enemies in an area of effect. It's like one of those risky reward style abilities that sometimes it's going to pay off, other times it's going to be a difficult one to use, but that's what makes this class so fun. Now, the wizard only gets access to Odaluk's Freezing Sphere, one of the only classes that can get this, so we're going to take it. And Chain Lightning. We'll then take for our final feat an increase to our intelligence to bring that up to 20. And just remember to prepare all the spells from Dawnstar's Arcane spells. Yeah, the Magic in a Bottle is really cool because you can use that to give yourself that potion, which is, again, going to give you a free leveled spell slot, or you can go ahead and just throw it. So yeah, drink it or throw it, your choice. Now, as for gear that we'll be using on this build, we're going to start off with, we can actually use the Hat of Storm Science power and get a lot of good out of it, because whenever we deal thunder damage, we get Arcane Acuity. This build does have a bit of thunder damage going on here between the different abilities, and then also our Booming Blade here. You can also, since we're using the Blade Singing Wizard, use like the Helmet of Arcane Acuity, Light Armor there, another choice, and alternatively, there's also things like the Hat of Fire Acuity. And just an easier choice is the Hood of the Weave, just give yourself a flat +2 bonus. We'll then also take the Cloak Protection, +1 armor class, obviously quite nice. Robe of the Weave, +1 to spell save DC, and also get some heals back, and 2 armor class bonus. We also got the Gloves of the Belligerent Skies here, giving ourselves the Reverberation status. What's great about that is, yeah, we got a few different ways to proc condition. So alternatively, we could take the Boots of Stormy Clamor, and then in our main hand, use the Luminous Gloves to do radiating orbs, because we do have some that do radiant damage, like from the ashes there. So yeah, we do have some options for switching things up. And then we could also, if we're going to go with the Luminous Gloves, we'd then throw on the Callous Glow Ring, which gives us additional 2 points of radiant damage whenever we're illuminated, which will apply to all our spells, which then procs that, which then procs our Boots of Stormy Clamor. These are all Act 1 items, so they're very easy to get, and Reverberation can make the enemies fall prone, and it'll actually proc off of some of our Storm abilities here too. And also the Knife of the Underbound King, really good choice. Although you could also have taken Shadow Blade if you really wanted to. This gives us increased critical hit chance, which is great for some of the attack rolls that we do with like Arcane Barrage there. So that's really nice. And then we also get Cold Snap there to give ourselves the Chilled condition, which I mentioned you could take Cone of Cold and Odaluk's Freezing Sphere there, because this, whenever an attacker misses us, we can also chill them, which then they take double cold damage, and we get a bonus armor class point from that. Now, 17 AC, not amazing, but we got Blade Song here for 10 turns, +4 to armor class, and +4 to Constitution saving throws. I also have the Ring of Mental Inhibition here, saving whenever you succeed at saving, or when an enemy fails a saving throw, we put Mental Fatigue, giving a -2 to their mental saves. I also like the Coruscation Ring for Radiating Orbs, which just procs everything all together with our Thunder and Radiant damage. And I got the Hell Rider Longbow for the +3 to Initiative, and Amulet of Greater Health, just better health. You could also go with the Spell Crux or the additional level 2 spell slot, Spell Savant Amulet there. I like the Spell Crux Amulet. But yeah, the VFX, you might want to take a few moments just to appreciate how nice they are, because honestly, all of these here have the coolest looking VFX, and as I said before, this is one thing that Dawnstar really does nail, as these all feel fresh. They're really different from what we already have in Baldur's Gate 3, And yeah, they just are out of this world. So I think one of the first things that we want to do is set up the whirlwind here, because this is a concentration, but it can pull enemies around, and it does a respectable amount of damage. We can upcast this if we want a bit more damage out of it. End of radius is quite large. That's the best part about it. So you can pop this down, and yeah, it's going to be pulling enemies in towards it. So find a good place that's going to be ideal. And then you see there, thunder and lightning damage with the cool tornado appearance there. So yeah, they're now fighting within a tornado with rocks flying around everywhere. And we got, I used haste on this character so I could cast another. We could go with like our cantrips here to absorb this target, but I think that we want to go with the soul split here, which will do psychic damage on a target. And then whenever they get attacked again, it's going to deal further psychic damage. I'm going to go on this target because they have counterspell and command, hold person, things like that. I don't want to deal with that, so I'm going to cast this here. And I unfortunately cast it on these ones and split them there. But yeah, that still works too, because the psychic damage was doubled because of the resonance stone, and then we also applied 2 turns of radiating orbs and reverberation there. And we do have a bonus action attack here, so we could go with one of our bonus action abilities, which are mostly defensive in their nature. And also we could use the magic in a bottle. That's another funny thing, and I still have that there because I recovered the my spell levels, so then I could actually go ahead with throwing this if you wanted to. I guess I don't have the action to throw it, but yeah, you could use that to drink it and get another level 6 spell slot. I'm just going to go with an attack here. We have advantage from Shadowblade, and yeah, the psychic damage extra is really nice from that soul split there. So yeah, I guess Bladesting Wizard is a not bad mix, because then you can proc that right away. But there is, again, the tornado there for you to proc that. A shield's nice, but this uses up a reaction. We also have counter spells, so that's one of the things with a wizard sorcerer is sometimes you don't want to use shield when you know there's a bigger threat there. I wasn't able to take out that target because I miss input, and missed it. So yeah, we gotta save our counter spell to protect our team. And they took the thunder and lightning damage. They started their turn in the tornado there. It was perfect. They got a critical hit, which somehow turned into a critical miss. Not sure how that went, but yeah, they were outside of the tornado's 2-meter radius. They didn't take the damage there, but the other person did. All right, so I'm getting low on health. I actually got really bad luck in the last turn. So I'm going to use, I guess I didn't even use Blade Song. That's probably why I took a few extra points of damage. From the Ashes here is great for whenever you're in these situations, because like a phoenix, you're reborn. So we're going to use this here. If we kill a target, we're able to get a health back. And yeah, it didn't end up killing anybody. So, oh, there we go. Never mind. It did kill somebody. We got our health back to full. It just may take a moment. Sometimes there's issues with VFX doing that. I know from whenever I made my mod, it's weird. Sometimes it lags. But yeah, we were actually able to apply Radiating Orb 6 stacks on the enemies too. That's why I mentioned Radiating Orb gear kind of works on here. You do burn through the level 5 spell slots quickly, but honestly, that's a good use of it. It's like Destructive Wave, but a little bit better. We can also, if we didn't want to use the I'll use the Arcane Binder here. We'll end our concentration on the Tornado just so I can show this ability off. Because whenever you use this, it just binds the enemies right beside you. It does hold a concentration, and you can see there, anyone that's in our grasp gets stuck there, and they are unable to do anything. We're just holding them in place. Shadowheart still has the soul split, unfortunately, there. But yeah, they all skip their turn, which is a crazy use for your level 6 spell slot. And we unfortunately skip our turn too, so I don't usually use my companions for these sections of the video, but that'd be a good time for your entire team just to jump everyone, because yeah, you can take them all out of commission here, and it's honestly quite strong, so you can just go around. They're all considered dazed, basically, and incapacitated. As long as you're holding the concentration, they're just all tapping out, not able to do a dang thing. And then they'll occasionally take damage, like he took the Arcane Bind damage, so this is a good time, again, for your teammates just to be able to lay waste to them, because, yeah, you're going to be able to just incapacitate everyone in their place. It's honestly quite funny, but for level 6 spell slot A, and people can resist it, too. I'm going to end it because I don't want to waste all those turns on the Arcane Bind. The funny thing about that is you can just hold them in place, and if you wanted to, it's continually doing reverberation stacks because of the condition, so it's going to continually keep damaging them. Kind of funny, but yeah, we can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to proc a couple attacks here just so I potentially take damage. That was a critical hit. That's randomly a critical miss. But yeah, more Radiating Orbs and conditions. I'm going to use the From the Ashes again and try to grab more enemies within this. For a level 5 spell slot, that's really good. Again, fire and radiant damage, being able to proc our gear so commonly. And maybe a bit of a wait there, but yeah, we eviscerated them into ashes like we're Thanos. Pretty crazy stuff right there. Yeah, I like that. We'll also throw our magic in a bottle here, which does take a full action, so it's typically better if you have one of these and you give it to like your barbarian or something else. So I'm just gonna throw it over at this target here, 95% hit chance, boom. That, yeah, exploded and killed them pretty good. So yeah, they're not walking again. Since that was an attack action, we still have our booming blade too, so I can just go over here and slap this guy around with that. And it wasn't enough to take him out, but it was a good chunk of damage. And we still have our offhand, so maybe I can get the call of the week. We got the call of the week. And look at that ominous pile of ash there, like we're playing Fallout. Song of Defense is kind of nice at times. I don't normally like to spend spell slots on defensive, but if you are burning through the enemies with some of the spells here, you could just use that as a bit of a replacement. And we'll also then use our Arcane Barrage cantrip again on this target. I love the animations. It's super cool. Oh, I have the blade singing out, so you normally, yeah, there we go. Kind of has the same, you throw, throw, throw. Blade singing, I guess, does change some of the VFX on this. We can also go ahead with a, oh, we actually spawned more enemies in, so maybe I'll use fireworks over here. So yeah, I'll just run up over and drop this, because blinding enemies is going to be good for protecting everyone here. I got a little bit more movement speed, perfect, I can hit all of them there. We'll try to use the fireworks on them. Pretty cool. It basically is color spray there, so they're all blinded and reed-eating orbs, so they aren't hitting anybody. We're in good shape. We're in good shape here because they're all debuffed. And we hit them with reverberation, knock them prone on their turn. That's great. So yeah, that's why I like the radiating orbs and reverberation, because it's just so easy to be able to proc a bunch of these abilities. And they're just missing. Yeah, you see, taking more reverberation damage there. We get the shield there because there's no other actions. So we just protect ourselves for a level 1 spell slot. Pretty good value. And then yeah, we're really low on spells, so I'll just use we'll use the fireworks again, just because those are really cool VFX. Not super high damage, but just reapplying radiating orbs is a good choice. I guess I should have went with the pain split first and then into that, because yeah, that just took out everyone in this area and they just ragdolled. We do have one last attack here. We'll go with our bonus action. We'll just hopefully wipe him out to end this all. Oh, nice, we got it off too. And we'll use the Wand of Absorption here, so we can absorb his power. And this gives you the orbs, which you can then use to either heal or harm with. We got one orb there. We'll go with another one there to finish him off. And booyah, that is Dawnstar's Arcane Spells in Baldur's Gate 3. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is an incredible mod. Go download it right now. It's now live as of today. And yeah, another incredible mod by Dawnstar. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.